This is Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and today I'll be sharing with you some alternate project ideas I came up with using the contents of the October 2015 My Paper Pumpkin kit from Stampin' Up, titled Blissful Bouquet. In this kit, you get enough supplies to make 9 beautiful cards, 3 of these 3 different styles. As always, you can follow the directions given in the kits to create fabulous fun projects or cards, or you can go beyond and change up the kit contents to create something completely outside the paper pumpkin box, as I'll be showing you in my video today. And speaking of boxes, this month our kit came in a pink box. Every subscriber helped to donate to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation this month. Thank you to all of you who subscribed. Stampin' Up! Includes everything that you'll need in these paper pumpkin kits. Besides the stamps and the ink that you can continue to use in future projects, you'll also get the pre-cut and scored papers, embellishments, special adhesives, and full step-by-step directions with photos, and a link to a how-to video to help you assemble the projects as shown. Lots of product for only $19.95 per month, and even as low as $17.95 per month if you purchase 12 months worth at once. And that includes the shipping. These kits are so affordable. Plus, I love the surprise. It's like getting a birthday gift in my mailbox each month. There's really no excuse not to get signed up. Besides being super affordable, they're compact, so you don't need to have a craft room to house them. They give you 30 minutes of creative therapy, they make perfect gifts, they are great for any age, any gender, and if you don't like the projects inside, you can find lots of other ideas out there on the internet that will inspire you, I promise. Plus, if you subscribe with me as your demonstrator, I'll send you extra ideas that are exclusive to my subscribers only. Be sure you're getting your kits because each month I bring you all sorts of fun projects in my YouTube videos and in photos on my blog. These are just some examples. Plus, if you're one of my personal Paper Pumpkin subscribers, I'll share with you even more ideas privately. I'm ready to share my alternate ideas in this video, so let's get started. Keep in mind that most of the extra tools that I use can be purchased from me in my online store. In my attempt to make your viewing time a little faster, I've split my projects into 2 videos this month, so be sure to see both of them. Thanks to the internet, Pinterest, Google searches, and now Facebook through the Paper Pumpkin fan club group, you can find lots of alternate card layouts. So my focus for this kit will be more toward gift ideas, 3D projects, and memory keeping pages. But I do have to say I was influenced heavily by a card I saw on the Paper Pumpkin fan club group on Facebook by Melissa Davies. We need to start out with products from the kit. We have our stamp set, our ink, which again I'm going to replace always with my larger pad. It just goes faster that way. And then we have our clear block that you get with your kit. I'm going to use the ergonomic one. That one is block D. And then we also have the gold foil stickers, the envelope that is the Calypso Coral, this hand-painted looking background paper, one of the green labels, and then our mini note card with matching envelope. So let's start by stamping the large flower from this kit onto our scrap paper here and also onto the red envelope. After you've stamped that flower a couple times, then you're going to take this large leaf from the stamp set and you'll stamp that onto this banner. So we'll just do about 3 leaves from that, and then we'll cut those out as well. Some additional products that I'm using for this card will be my snail adhesive, my bone folder, my paper snips, and then I'm also going to add the Gold Glitz Dazzling Details. I'm hand cutting, or as some people call it, fussy cutting, all of the flowers and leaves out. And when you cut, you want to make sure that you're getting the ends as pointy as you can. Doesn't work if you stamp real close to the edge of the paper though, Rachel. Okay, a few of them I got real pointy. Then we're going to use our bone folder. And let's just first curl this way on both flowers. And then we can add a little bit of a dip the opposite way too. Now, do you know what kind of flower this is? That Christmas flower. It's a poinsettia, or poinsettia, depending on how you pronounce it. Isn't that pretty? Now you could do it with red cardstock instead, and that would give you a nice crisp, Christmassy color. But I do have these flowers in this more coral color as well. So, and I think it still looks pretty Christmassy. So the last step would be to add the gold glitz dazzling details. So here is our festive poinsettia card, just in time for the holidays. Let me show you another project idea that came to mind when I saw this pretty Christmas flower. So the first thing that you'll want to do is either make this flower here with the contents that are already in the kit, or you could go ahead and get some red cardstock. I'm just using our real red. Do the same thing where you cut out a couple flowers and then you start curling the petals. So after you've done that, then you're going to grab one of these boxes. And these cute little boxes are 2 inches by 2 inches. They're called tiny treat boxes. You get 25 in a bag. Now I thought that I had all 25 in here, but no, I didn't. I had to place an order just a few days ago to get the rest. So you won't see my completed project because it actually takes 25 of these little boxes to make it. But let me show you with a few of them at least, and we'll start with one. So you'll take and unfold your box like this, and then you put the U shape on the bottom in first, then the 2 L's, the backwards L and the forwards L, and tuck those in, and then this last little piece just tucks right in to the bottom like that. So you don't even have to put adhesive on to get that to come together. You fold the flaps on the top, tuck in the top flap, and you've got your completed box ready to go. Then what I did is I took my metallic doilies. So you can get a whole bunch of these fun metallic doilies in our catalog or online store as well. And I cut the silver and gold small ones in half. Those are going to get added to the box at the top here. We have a great adhesive called Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue that I would recommend for this project. What's great is it has 2 tips, so it's got the real broad tip and then it has a pointy tip, and mine is really gummed up. I'm sorry about that. I should have a cleaner one to show you. But you just squeeze it, and then you can take that broad tip and you can rub it flat like this, and we're going to connect the boxes. So we're going to connect 25 boxes together. You just hold it real still here. So the top tier would have 1 box, the second tier would have 3, the third would have 5, and then 7, and then 9. And that should equal 25. I think I did the math right. You just hold that for a while, nice and firm. This is our 3rd tier, obviously. And then we have our 2nd here. Now when you do this one, you want to watch so that you can still open these up. So I'm going to go ahead and add the glue to this section instead. And you don't want to get any glue seeping outside the edges. This glue is very sticky after it dries. It's kind of got a tacky feeling to it, so if it seeps out the edges, you feel that tackiness. Now, if you remember, I do not have all 25 boxes, so I can't finish the project, but you got the idea, I'm sure. This one's going to go on top here. I will have photographs on my blog showing the finished one, but this would get attached here with a dimensional or glue dots or anything to help attach it to the top, and it's going to become an advent calendar. So again, you would number all your boxes starting at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 25, which would be at the top. So this would be Christmas Day, and you could either put little messages in there, or you can put deeds, little good deeds to do each day, or maybe jobs around the house. Yeah, let's make it not fun. Or inside you can make it, just a spoiling advent calendar and put candy or treats or gifts. But these boxes are perfect for an advent calendar, all 25 of them in one bag. Anyways, isn't that cute? And speaking of Christmas, this third project that I want to share with you, I'm going to share with you very quickly, but it involves a lot more fussy cutting than the last two. What you'll need from the kit is this large yellow card, the medium-sized yellow envelope, this watercolor wash looking printed paper, the green banner, some gold foil stickers, dimensionals, the stamp set, and then your gray ink and your block that came in the kit. Of course, I'm using these two. For additional products for this project, you're going to also need a stamp set that can generate a little message about Christmas. I'm going to use the celebration from the stamp set called Remember This. I'll also be using some extra cardstock because, of course, for a scrapbook page, we want to have a large piece of cardstock, and we don't get that in the kit. Can't fit that in the kit. So I'm using the Whisper White 12 by 12. I'm also using two colors from the Brights cardstock pack, Real Red and Old Olive. I'll be using the Gold Glitz Dazzling Details, my paper trimmer, scissors, adhesive, and the bone folder. So we're going to start by taking a portion of our Old Olive cardstock, and we're going to stamp onto it. And actually, you'll need a larger scrap than this, but here, I'll just use even a smaller one just to give you an idea. But you're going to stamp on that cardstock with the flower from the kit. So let's open that up. I love how easy these photopolymer stamps are. You just stick them right to the block. Okay, so you're going to stamp a couple of these, and then you're going to cut around them, but you're going to cut this time right on the line. Go right up to the line all the way around the whole entire flower. You'll do that for both of them. And then once you have that done, you're going to start layering onto another piece of Old Olive cardstock. You're going to start with your middle image, and then you'll put what we've done is we've made masks. You're going to put your mask over the top of the flower that you just stamped. And you can see I've already done that a few times with this mask. You can see the stamping that's all over it. But you'll just stamp again. I'm trying to remember how I did this. I'll just stamp down here just so that you have the idea. So you stamp again, and then you put your second mask over the top of that. And you'll probably only need 2 masks the whole entire time if you work in a triangular motion as you go. And you're just building up this design. See, after I've done that, I can shift this image over to here. You just have to puzzle piece it together. And you can stamp another and another and another, and just keep shifting these 2 little masks, okay? And pretty soon you have built up your... Where did I put it? Here it is. Your Christmas tree. So I guess I started with this top one, and I masked that one, and then stamped here, masked that one, stamped there, and then I did 3 on the bottom. And then I put a couple of these smaller half flowers or portion flowers on the edges just to fill in and make a triangular shape. So now I've got my Christmas tree. And next, let's move that aside. You're going to trim up this card. You're going to trim it in half. You're going to fold over the flap of this envelope. You're going to also trim that watercolor wash paper down to 2.5 inches and then down to 1 3/4 inches. So you have this little, I'm going to call it the ground, and that's what my tree will sit on, like that. And the banner will go across the top, And of course, those wonderful poinsettia flowers that we just created are going to embellish here and there because we want a pop of red here and there throughout our page. So let me share with you what I did to embellish the center. I took these gold foil stickers. I grabbed these little pieces here, the things that you would normally just throw away, and I made kind of, well, not really an X, but more of a it's 3 sticks going across each other. So you've got 1, 2, and then a third one. And you want to pick the longest ones, or the longer ones, I should say. And you're just creating a little center for your flower. And let's zoom in here so you can see. Here we go. So I've done that on 3 flowers. I also stamped this extra piece just in case, because when I was creating the page I thought, oh, I might need just an extra little filler where you can tuck it here and there to make it look like it's fuller. And my page is finished now. Let me show you a few little parts on it. This is what I did to the tree. I went ahead and did the same thing that I did with the poinsettia flowers. I put 3 of those those little, I don't know, the scrap stickers inside, crisscross them into the tree area and onto the flowers here. Stamp the word celebration across the top on the banner. Put everything up on dimensionals just for a little more zest on the page. And then I have the extra poinsettia flowers down here with this doodad, the flower, the portion of the flower that's on that I told you I might use, and I did. I filled it in right there. Now let me show you a couple tricks on how I did this journaling spot and how I did this celebration spot. I'm just going to use a scrap piece of paper. I've got a post-it note here, and we'll take our stamp. This is the stamp that does the stem of the flower. I am at a loss for words right now. So I stamped a few of those right in a row for journaling. I'm just going to do this real rough here. It's not going to look super neat. And then, because I wanted some of them to be a little longer, I took my post-it note and stuck that over the top here so that I kind of had a little bit closer to the end. So I had just a little tip of it sticking out. And then I matched up this stamp and I eyeballed the rest of the line right here and stamped it down. Did the same thing here, only brought it in just a tad bit more. And of course I did it a lot neater so you didn't have those little clumps there. And then when I came to this spot, I masked it here and went like this and like that. So that's how I got the different, actually I only did 4, but that's how I got the different lines to look like that. Then up in the corner where it says celebration, that stamp is actually a straight across image, but on here I curved it. And that is the joy, one of the joys of photopolymer stamps. You can actually curve them on your block. So I mounted it with a little bit of that curve. Normally this stamp goes straight across like that, but I positioned it like that. And that's how you can twist and turn your stamps to give them a slightly different look. So let's zoom out and see that whole entire page. There we go. Very Christmassy, very festive. For our Project Life page, the last project for the video, we're going to use layout number 1. We're also going to use some more of our 12 by 12 Whisper White cardstock and some of our Old Olive cardstock. I just have that in the 8.5 by 11. We'll be using again the Remember This stamp set, and we'll bring in the Bird Builder punch. Also, you'll need your typical items, the adhesive, scissors, and trimmer. And I'm going to use the Gold Glitz Dazzling Details again. From our kit, we'll need these items. You'll need the coral envelope, the card that goes with that, this watercolor wash designer paper, either label, doesn't matter which one, some of the gold foil stickers, these 2 printed sheets, the twine, this card, the Sahara Sand medium-sized card, and of course your stamps and ink and block. The first thing that we'll do is we'll grab our paper trimmer and we'll trim down our Whisper White cardstock, which I've already done for you. But you're going to trim that down to 4x6 so that it fits into one of our pockets. You'll do the same thing with the Old Olive. So you have two 4x6 pieces. And then for a couple of the other pockets, you're going to trim down that Sahara Sand card to 3x4. That's the other size pocket we have. So 3x4 piece. And you'll do the same thing with the yellow card. So now you've got these base pieces ready to go. For a few of the layers, you're going to trim down, you're going to trim in half that coral envelope. You're also going to trim in half the floral round paper and the paper that has the little leaf design in it. You can certainly trim down the printed paper, this stuff here. You can trim that down, but it's not necessary because you're going to stamp some pieces on it and hand trim them out. So if you want to use just one side and have a whole bunch of one kind of flower, that's totally fine. So that's the first stamping that you'll do. Then you'll also stamp onto these pieces, and I've already started with this piece here. Let me just demonstrate how to do that. I did that in the first video, but I don't think I've done that in this one. So let's grab our stamps, mount them onto our block. You're going to need both of those vine pieces or leaf pieces with this pattern, and you'll just carefully line it all up and stamp. And you'll do better than me. Alright, so you'll do that whole piece. Both of these leaf pieces will work with that, and you'll come up with this design. Then after that's done, you're going to do the same thing with this paper and this stamp. So you'll stamp all of that and you'll come up with this. So those are our stamped pieces so far. Next, we will need our title piece. Let me grab that really quick. And I think what I'm going to do for that is stamp the Life is Good from our Project Life stamp set. Let me show that to you again. Project Life Remember This stamp set. It has some great scrapbooking titles. Now there's some space there that I want to fill in. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this flower that you don't necessarily, it's like an extra stamp. There's like extra stamps in this stamp set. It's so awesome. So we're going to use that one, and we're going to put a couple of flowers that come off the edge here. And that just fills it in a little bit more. Makes it look like a fuller title. Oh, and because they're kitty wampus, they're not lined up, we're going to add another one. Yeah, let's add this tiny one. We're going to make that a little straighter, Rachel. Okay. Or at least look straighter. And there we go. Love it. That's way better. All right, now we can start layering some items together. So I'm going to grab that page protector, that pocket page, back out here. So this piece is going to come up here in the corner, and that is going to have our flower, designer paper, and our banner. And then what I've done with a couple scrap pieces is I've used our punch, and I've punched out just a couple branches, and those are going to come off the side here. Okay. Then the middle pieces, this one will be put here and this one will be put here. This one will contain some journaling lines on it, like I showed you before. And then this one will contain this designer paper going across. And the bottom corner, we will have this green sheet, the envelope piece half turned upside down. And I've already, through the magic of stopping the camera, cut out these flowers, and those will go right across the middle like that. And here is the finished layout. The black pieces represent where photos will go. And I have a couple pieces that are drying, so I'm going to just scoot these off to the side when I share all the projects here. But these two have a little bit of gold glitz dazzling details on them. And so we're just going to move that off to the side and let me share with you all the other finished projects. Here's our 12 by 12 layout with the Christmas theme. We have the Christmas theme little note card. We have our advent calendar. It's not fully finished because I still am missing a couple boxes. But how fun is that? Oh, and I still need to glue it a little bit more too. It's not dried all the way. And then of course the cards from the kit. The cards that the kit directs you on how to make. Thank you for watching. It builds creativity to think outside the box. Be sure to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe so that you can catch more paper pumpkin videos that I've shared using past kits and more that I'll share with future kits. Also, be sure to visit my blog at stampyourartout.com so you can view close-up photos of all these projects and see photos of other paper pumpkin kit ideas. Oh, and yes, to see some extra exclusive project ideas, get your paper pumpkin subscription started with me as your demonstrator. I hope you all enjoyed this video tutorial. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.